Hello, I'm Marc Mossenta, the Director of Enriched Human Resources at Vitamine T Group, which has been in existence for more than 40 years, and whose business activity is social inclusion through economic activities. So that means we accompany those who have been long unemployed in re-entering the workforce. First, in one of our entities, there are 28 in total, spread out over 4 territories. And then we accompany them in finding a permanent job in more traditional organizations. 28 entities organized into 4 sectors: recycling and manufacturing. For example, recycling wooden pallets to make this magnificent wooden furniture. Recycling materials from household appliances. The second sector is the services sector, with activities in cleaning services, green spaces, what we also call humanization. Since we are present in the Lille Metro and at the same time the Paris Metro, to do mediation or security. Next, we have the HR solutions sector, especially with temporary placement, primarily in anything to do with waste, construction, etc. And finally, a more recent sector, which is the healthy and sustainable food sector, with organic farming activities. Vitamine T is more than 5,000 employees, 2,000 in support programs who are not employees. This represents a significant volume of people who enter and leave our organizations. Also, an important administrative undertaking, because it's a very regulated industry. This is what brought us to say that if we want to continue to have this passionate, essential business of placement in human-oriented economic activities, we have to relieve our teams of tedious, repetitive tasks, and to be able to allow them to dedicate themselves to their employees who are in the process of being placed. So, we initiated a proposal to put in place a human resources information system, and we chose PeopleSpheres. And we are very happy today, since for more than a year now, we've been working very closely in a very constructive manner with PeopleSpheres on the implementation of what we consider here the core of our administrative human enrichment activities.
One of the promises that we have to keep in the scope of this project is to reduce the number of times we collect information in the information system, and because of this overload, the multitude of information systems that we have, the equation is difficult to solve. PeopleSpheres has brought us solutions that are easy to put in place, whether it is to exchange data with modern systems through an API, for example, or that we use older technologies or information systems where the connections are more complex or more specialized. PeopleSpheres is a bit like a Swiss Army knife that enables a la carte to establish the connection that is fast, immediate, or even delayed depending on our context. Successfully constructing a single standard and putting uniformity and standard process in a group like ours is extremely complicated. PeopleSpheres' agility allows us to do this because it allows us to find both superstructured solutions for very large entities and, in quotations, very simplified, even simplistic ones for the smaller entities. Thanks to workflows, thanks to monitoring rules that exist in the tool, thanks to the capability to create these customizable forms, thanks to these conditions that we could even bring up during the deployment of PeopleSpheres, who knew how to listen to, quote-unquote, our needs, and who hasn't hesitated for a single second to readjust their solution to enrich its functionality. Today we have a core of functionalities that we can arrange however we want, and that allows us to create a very strong standard.
We also did it because we had the objective of making work easier for an employee who needs to communicate to us about elements related to their profile, to be onboarded with us. And so we chose the option of a smartphone. And finally, those who have been unemployed long-term are much more skilled at using their smartphone. And they have the same ability to therefore communicate to us all the elements for their profile in order to then trigger their employment contract, their pay stubs, and everything that goes with it. Our objective, besides the core that we put in place with PeopleSpheres, is to be able to examine the entire employee journey at our company.
With PeopleSpheres, tomorrow we'll have in one click the possibility of precisely knowing the number of people who are in our company. And thanks to this, we will be able to create a dashboard, constructed, for example, with the economic and social database, which is made up of different social and economic information that are also legal, which today we have a lot of difficulty constructing, and that we will successfully do very easily in the future because we'll have our information system with this central database at the heart of our information system.
We don't have this feeling of a client-vendor relationship, actually. We're really partners in the implementation of a solution that will allow us to do better in our placement business. Yet, it isn't easy to decipher Vitamine T. It's 28 entities, 4 or 5 different payroll software. I don't even keep count anymore. 15 collective bargaining agreements you have to decipher. They got there, and I often tell them, by the way, if you put it in place with us, you can do it anywhere else. PeopleSpheres, in 3 words, is flexibility, reactivity, and solution-oriented. That's 4, but that's okay.